If you're hoping to have sex on the first date, the absolute way that you will not get sex on the first date is by talking about it or by being overly aggressive in being sexual. And unfortunately, I think it happens a lot. I've had clients who tell me that right from the very beginning, they feel so sexualized by a guy. This one client of mine went to meet a guy, and she had met him at an event first, but then when she meant to meet him for the first date, and they sat down on bar stools next to each other, he had his hand going up her skirt and was like touching her. He put his hand, tried to put his hand up her blouse, and she was really freaked out. And she called me the next day in a panic, and she was like, I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know what to do. And that's really the problem, because a lot of women don't have the boundaries strong enough to go, that is not okay, please keep your hands to yourself. So, you know, if you're the kind of guy who's taking advantage of a girl who doesn't have the boundary to say, I don't like that, that's creepy. Do you want to be creepy? I hope not. I hope you want to be desirable. So less is more, and please be respectful. Do not touch your date in any way sexual at all, unless she's in some way invited you to do that. And most specifically by, you know, flirting with you. If she's touching you, and then even still, allow her to lead the pace of that. You know, someone once said to me, women are the gatekeepers of sex. And I think that's very true, because, you know, men have sex much easier. Women need to be more emotionally connected for the most part. So I'm just saying, do not be sexually aggressive, and do not go into a date with the intention that you want to have sex tonight, because that will set you up to fail. And I'll tell you, if you're putting off that energy of like, let's have sex, ooh, I want to have sex with you, she is going to be so turned off and maybe even creeped out. And I assume that's not the result that you're hoping for. So if you're highly charged sexually, then, you know, maybe you need to take care of that before you go on a date, to, like, you know, calm that down. And really, a first date is about exploring, getting to know who they are as a person, and getting to know them on an emotional level. And sex comes out of that for women. So don't talk about sexual topics. Do not reference her body in any way whatsoever. Your eyes need to stay up here in her eyes. They, you know, if she has nice breasts and she's showing them off, a lot of guys feel like, well, she's putting them out there. But you still need to be respectful about it. If a man one ups and downs and, like, you know, and then kind of smiles, then, like, that's flattering. You're like, oh, he checked me out. He noticed me. But if a guy's now talking to you and, you know, I mean, that happened to me once. I went to a black tie event that as soon as I got there, this friend of a friend walked right up to me and literally went like this, hi, nice to meet you. And, like, it was staring at my chest. And it was like, for the first time in my life, I wanted to go, hello, I'm up here, because I'm not like that big breasted. But I was wearing a little bit of a low cut dress. But anyway, my point is, it makes a woman feel like a piece of meat. And that is certainly not an aphrodisiac. And it's not going to entice her to want to get close to you or to want to have sex with you. So if your intention is to get sex on the first date, then you need to completely act different. Otherwise, that's not going to happen. Be confident in who you are and leave the sex talk, the sex jokes, and the sexually explicit body language off of a first date. There's no place for it. And after the date, do not follow up with any kind of sexual text message. It's gross. I can't even tell you how many guys like, ooh, I'm still tasting your kisses. Or clients call me all the time freaked out by some sexualized text that they got from a guy that they had a kind of nice date with. So do not ruin your chances by being sexual or sexualizing the woman in any way on a first date. Less is more. And you might actually get sex if you stop talking about it.